Hey, what's going on, you guys? Nicholas Moy here, and in this video, I want to introduce the Cyber AI Profile that was just released by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is that? I'm about to dive into it, and we're going to be talking about this and really breaking this down. Let's go ahead and jump into this conversation. Okay, so what we are looking at right here is kind of like the landing page for NIST Cyber AI Profile. This was kind of in the works for the past year, maybe a little over a year now, but they've recently published, a hard copy, a very strong idea of what they're thinking is going to be a solid cybersecurity framework or set of standards that we as security practitioners can begin to follow when it comes to protecting organizations that are adopting AI agents and other types of AI tools. And we can kind of see the status of where they're at. We can see first off that they're very close. The circle's almost completely green, which indicates that they're almost at completion here as far as development of the AI profile itself. And we can see here the public comment period for the NIST IR 8596 Cybersecurity Framework Profile for artificial intelligence has now closed, meaning they're no longer accepting any type of public comments, guidance from the experts that are out in our industry as far as influencing this AI profile. Which means that they basically have a pretty good understanding of where they want to take this thing. And this copy should be, something that we can start paying attention to, because I think it's now at the point of maturity where it's realistically something that we can implement. They've had a good idea of all the different risks and threats and vulnerabilities that organizations are exposing themselves to when they adopt different AI tools. And with, how fast AI is adopting or just growing, evolving, month over month, we should definitely have some kind of practice here, right? And this is constantly a moving target, I think, which is also why they've taken a little bit of time to kind of build this thing out. But a really, really good sign. They've done great work. I'm really excited to dive into this with you guys. And I highly recommend that whether you are currently working in cyber or maybe you're in the process of, getting your degree and trying to land that job, these are things that you definitely want to pay attention to, because you're going to be able to really benefit from this. So go ahead and take a look. So the link to this is actually going to be down in the description. I highly recommend that you click it and kind of explore. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roadmap here. So when I mentioned that green circle and kind of like how fast or how close we are to completion, we can kind of see their progress. So the Cyber AI Profile roadmap, this is the entire life cycle that the organization has taken and all the contributors have taken to develop this AI profile to where it's at right now. Okay. So first it was initial research and scoping scope shaping. So meaning, what is the target? What are all the things that we're going to analyze as far as AI and making sure that it's secure? And so at that point, they're, identifying initial stakeholders and having those discussions. They're reviewing different literature. Then NIST is collaborating, reviewing different literature. And then they start publishing a blog post saying, hey, we have this intent. We're going to go ahead and start to work on an AI profile based on the cybersecurity framework that NIST already has. We already know a little bit about that. If you've been working in cyber, you've probably heard of, NIST CSF. So that right there is what they're going ahead and doing. We can see that they checked the box, so they've already done that. Cyber AI Profile concept paper. So we can see the box was checked there. So they've already tackled that one, meaning that they have a rough draft of some initial ideas, formats, AI references, and then they open the invitation to the public to provide input on what things should be included, what things can be excluded, things like that. So you can kind of see this collaboration. And NIST isn't just doing this internally. They are opening it up to the vast security community internationally to contribute to this and say, hey, we should include this. What do you guys think? Let's have an open conversation, which is great. This is how, open source works, is all about community. And we can see that NIST is doing something very similar, because this is a rapid fire piece of technology that's just constantly evolving every single day. And so it's very good that they are including that. We can see that the next step here was a public workshop over here in step F. They already completed that. They did a concept paper feedback with the community. Then they did a COI working session. Then they did Cyber AI Profile preliminary draft. So here we go. we're getting close to another draft, and they did another public workshop. And now we can see that the Cyber AI Profile initial public draft, which I believe we are at this point. They just haven't checked it. They haven't updated this slide yet. But I believe this is where we are at. And we're getting close to that final profile. We might even be a little bit closer to here. I'm not sure. I think this might be a little bit behind. But let's go ahead and go back, because we do see that they're closing it for public comments at this point, which makes me think they might be done with those public workshops at this point. They just haven't updated that slide. But definitely take a look around and kind of see what's going on. We can see the virtual working sessions. They have a few. These actually look like these were in the past. So this makes me, again, think they're already done with that, because the last time they did it was in September. And, oh no, I'm sorry, January 14th, we can see right here of this year, 2026, they did that Cyber AI workshop too. So if we go back to the roadmap, okay, so this workshop 2 is done. So yeah, workshop 3, they have not done it. So they're probably still in the process of doing it. So I think we are on track. That slide probably is up to date. So let's go ahead and actually dive into this draft profile. This is, initial preliminary draft. Let's kind of see what is in here. I was looking at this the other night and I thought, you know what, this is definitely worth sharing with everybody and just making them aware of this resource that is going to become available. Not quite solidified yet, but will be available very soon. And so if you're an active, cybersecurity practitioner, or again, somebody that's kind of working into this, career and wants to make this pivot, this is definitely something that we should start to leverage and become familiar with. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to table of contents. Always a good place to start. So we see an executive summary. We have purpose, scope, audience, document structure, and then we have the Cyber AI Profile, right? And we have a couple of focus areas. Securing AI system components, right? Conducting AI-enabled cyber defense, and then thwarting AI-enabled cyber attacks, right? So 3 different secure, defend, and thwart, 3 different key areas of focus. And then we also have the profile itself, which is going to be govern, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. Okay, I could foresee this becoming like in a future certification or something like that, maybe a test down the road, is a framework and things that we will have to begin to memorize as security practitioners that are working in the AI space. Okay, let's go ahead and actually jump over to one of these. I'm going to jump over to 2.1 and focus area. So we can see here the intersection of cybersecurity and AI has multiple facets. To provide an organizing structure, the Cyber AI Profile offers 3 focus areas that are based on inputs from stakeholders, each with a single keyword for ease of reference and in the detailed Cyber AI Profile discussions. The focus areas are securing AI system components. So this focuses on managing cybersecurity challenges when integrating AI into organizational ecosystems and infrastructure. Okay, so security, that's hardening, and confidentiality. Conducting AI-enabled cyber defense, so focusing on identifying opportunities to use AI to enhance cybersecurity processes and activities, and understanding challenges when leveraging AI to support defensive operations. Okay, and then thwarting, which is AI-enabled cyber attacks. Thwarting those focuses on building resilience to protect against new AI-enabled threat vectors. So, kind of makes me reminds me of the CIA triad. So this kind of reminds me of confidentiality, making sure that we are keeping things protected and people can't come in that are not authorized to do that, right? So it's confidential. Unless you have authorization, you can't access the system or the data. And AI-enabled cyber defense, focusing on identifying opportunities to use AI to enhance cyber security processes and activities, and understanding challenges when leveraging AI. So not really an integrity thing necessarily, but this is still, I think, very, very valid because AI is constantly evolving. So kind of deviating off the track here. But then when I think about thwarting AI-enabled cyber attacks, this does sound a little bit like an availability kind of thing, right? Just making sure that we're building resilience. And it reminds me of the cloud, right? When we're talking about cloud security and cloud technology, it's all about increasing availability, uptime and availability to make sure that our systems and our data are accessible when necessary. And that's what they're really focusing on here in that one area. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump down. We can kind of see here are, a little nice graphic here. We got secure, defend, and thwart. And in the middle, we have managing AI-related cybersecurity opportunities and risks. So we can see that the three, kind of form a trifecta, and that's the overall goal, which is really good. Now let's jump down. We've got govern, and we've got some controls. So if you've done anything with compliance or governance, or you've worked in cyber and you've had to maybe harden a system, and you might have an auditor kind of telling you, hey, I need you to make these changes. You might have seen a table that kind of looks like this. Very common within RMF, risk management framework, very common in cybersecurity framework as well, the CSF. The Cloud Security Alliance has even released their own, like CCM, like how to protect the cloud environments using the cloud control matrix and stuff like that. And it's similar. We have a table of controls, things that are recommended and things that we must follow based on the criticality of the system and the type of data that's being held within it. And so we're kind of seeing a similar framework or thing, a list of controls that we should be following right here within the Cyber AI profile, which I think is really cool. And again, they are tying this in with the CSF, the NIST cybersecurity framework. So everything that we see here is kind of piggybacking off of those lists of controls, but then modifying it or adopting it to fit the molds, the ecosystem, the environment of what we would see in a typical AI setting, AI environment, right? And let's just kind of review some of these. So we got govern, and GV.0C-1, the organization's mission is to understand and inform cybersecurity risk management. Okay, so then we have general considerations, no general considerations identified, C, focus area considerations. So then we move over to focus area considerations, and we have standard cybersecurity practices apply for proposed priority 3. References OWASP, AI Exchange, general governance controls, OWASP, LLM top 10, and LLM 03 supply chain. So this is referencing an OWASP LLM control right here. Now, under the defend key focus area, we have standard cybersecurity practices apply, right? NIST Threat Landscape 2025, DASF 50, Atlas AML. So we can see that they're kind of focusing on other things. Let's kind of pick on another one here, because I feel like this is already kind of bland. It can be. I mean, guys, if you've been working in governance, risk and compliance, you know this, right? Critical objectives, capabilities, and services that external stakeholders depend on or expect from the organization are understood and communicated. Okay, so this is a key thing, not really AI specific. This is something that we always do in every environment or should be done. But understanding critical objectives, capabilities, and services that external stakeholders are going to depend on, systems, data, certain processes, whatever it is that the company is needing to do. These are things that we need to identify, things that we need to make sure that we're protecting, and it's highly available, highly resilient all the time. Okay, let's kind of scroll down and see what else we can find that's a little bit more AI-esque, if you will. Cybersecurity risk management activities and outcomes are included in enterprise risk management governance, processes. Let's continue to scroll down. Lines of communication across the organization are established for cybersecurity risk. Okay. Standardizing methods for calculating and documenting, categorizing, and prioritizing cybersecurity risk. All right, I'm just kind of going down to see what else I can find here. Is it a bit more AI specific? Okay, here's a really good one. This sounds like something that would be very much AI specific. GV.RR-04. Cybersecurity is included in human resources practices. Okay. So why is this important? Because we don't want to solely depend on AI. And it even tells you right here, sample focus area considerations. Understanding the limitations of an AI model is critical to effective usage. Learn how it makes decisions, when it likely is to make mistakes, and communicate to users what to do when mistakes occur, right? Kind of interesting, right? It's not your typical security control that sounds technical, right? This is very much specific to AI. Why? Because AI is engaging with human beings. Human beings are going to be communicating with it. Employees are going to be communicating with AI in the organization while they are working. And sometimes AI can produce hallucinations. They can make mistakes. And so what this control is literally saying is we need to be able to consider the fact and understand that the AI models that our employees are working with can make mistakes and try to get an understanding as to when they make mistakes. We need to have human resources kind of involved in this whole thing. And that could be, so that we're not blaming an employee who made an honest mistake based off of an AI model that just produced the wrong information. It could be that the AI model got malicious, got a little Terminator action going on or something like that, and that employee did something as an internal threat, but didn't mean to. It was just following the system that the company actually equipped the employee with. Just opens up a whole nother world of different security vulnerabilities internally that the organization is just kind of throwing into their computers and saying, hey, use this thing. I have a friend, big old tech company, and he's literally having to go through as he works, and this is like a corporate-wide initiative, everyone has to do AI training. It doesn't matter if you're a technical person, like a developer, or if you're a recruiter, recruiting the people. You have to be building AI systems. The whole company wants this whole thing to happen because they are trying to stay ahead of the curve. And so the company is literally equipping the employees with access to AI tools, right? They're literally equipping the company with that, and they're equipping the employees with training, teaching them how to use these different things. But let's be honest, everyone's just kind of learning it and teaching the next person as we all kind of adopt this new mindset and learn these things. And this is where having a framework is very, very important. We need to have some kind of governance, some kind of visibility on what is going on within the organization so that we know how to protect our people, protect our customers, protect our systems, and more importantly, making sure that we're implementing things correctly and we're all staying guarded, right? We're all understanding that what we're throwing in here is very much experimental. We're figuring this out as we go along, okay? Let's see what else we got here. So that was for govern. I'm going to kind of scroll down a little bit and see if we can find another one. So we're still within govern. Let's scroll down to, okay, here we go. Identify. I'm going to pick on one here that I think would be very good. Okay, here we go. Representations of the organization's authorized network communication and internal and external network data flows are maintained. Categorize traffic into 4 distinct groups: internal human-generated traffic, internal computer-generated traffic in the network, right? Such as cron jobs or automated processes, internal AI-based traffic, such as AI tools searching the web and utilizing organizational resources, and then external traffic. What the heck? This is cool. This is very cool, but very, very important. And that's under the security, key focus area. Now let's talk about defend. Maintain representations of AI data flows, including paths for inference requests, training data pipelines, and enforcing defense boundaries and detect anomalies. Almost sounds like a zero trust type situation, right? We just need to have a really good understanding on what these AI models are doing, what they're accessing, and how are they, what's distinct. Like here we got human traffic, so we can monitor that, make sure that the human beings are doing good, but then we also can tag and analyze and keep track of the AI agents, those beings, those creatures. They're not beings, but you know what I mean. That traffic that's being generated and tracking what they're doing, right? So now we're not getting the two mixed up. And the reason why is because we want to be able to have a distinction on it. Did a human make the mistake? If there was a mistake, or did the AI agent do that? And correct course respectively, depending on which person or agent did that, right? I don't know. It's just, I even have to think about how I'm communicating it, because it's crazy. It's really cool stuff. Standards and cybersecurity practices apply. Understanding the network facilitates a clear understanding of normal and abnormal traffic that can indicate a security event is occurring. which is just mind-blowing, right? Now let's kind of scroll down here a little bit. I'm going to pick on another area. So we've got protect. These are the purple controls. Users, services, and hardware are authenticated. Okay, that's not really a good one. I kind of want to find one that has a little bit more AI into it. Identify assertions are protected, conveyed, and verified. Okay, so under defend, we have something here. Identity assertions provide a measure of assurance that AI components are valid. Signing and verifying agent assertions and tokens provide insight into their provenance, and support organization is verifying that only the expected agents are operating. Ooh, so now that would imply that there could be rogue agents. And we need to make sure that only the appropriate organizational authorized agents, the organization actually said, you guys can use this thing, right? Not some person with malicious intent that just spins up a rogue agent on their computer that they brought to work. And that thing is now doing things it shouldn't be doing, accessing things it shouldn't be accessing, right? So just being able to verify that tokens being spent are okay, this is what we wanted, this is how we're supposed to be doing it, and that these agents have access to what they're allowed to have access to and nothing else. Crazy stuff. Okay, so let's kind of go down here. Let's pick on another one. So we've got some yellow controls. This is our detect. Again, going into, I would imagine it's exactly what it is. So we got networks and network services are monitored to find potential adverse events, right? We got so much here. Let's kind of scroll down. I mean, it sounds like, SIMs and all that stuff, just making sure that we're logging network traffic and making sure that we have the right type of stuff. Here we have response. So how are we going to respond to these different things? The incident response plan is executed in coordination with relevant third parties once an incident is declared. We got here, in instances where third parties are being used for AI services, it may be appropriate to coordinate with those parties when responding to an incident to ensure the appropriate incident response activities are conducted and appropriately coordinated between parties. Incidents related to data leakage may have additional considerations based on the nature of the data. Like, for example, impacting an individual's privacy may trigger breach notification requirements under various privacy laws and regulations. And we know that, right? State and, different countries, they have certain privacy regulations. And when you hit certain thresholds, you have to announce that to everybody. But now that there's more than just human beings accessing this data, as far as insider threat, now we have AI agents that could be insider threats as well. We have to be able to respond to this accordingly and have this into the actual documentation. CISOs have to be evolving their policies and their processes to make sure that we're covering our bases when it comes to AI agents and what AI agents are capable of doing. So it's just crazy stuff. Wow. So, this is really good that we're having these types of conversations, that we're already starting to see some type of resource that is available to organizations. Obviously not entirely done. And we are going to have to start doing some, digging into these different resources. I know this is the one that NIST provided. I'll be making a video on some stuff that I found with OWASP as well. We need to begin to understand how these different, tools, these resources are available, and what the security community is requiring that organizations adopt in their company to protect their customers, to protect their employees, to make sure that we're not falsely accusing employees of being an insider threat when it was truly just an AI agent that did it. But these types of things, these types of controls are going to be in place, and organizations, IT teams are going to have to really start to consider this. Things like segregating the network in 4 different VLANs so that we can accurately monitor the traffic for what is human, what is non-human, and what those non-human agents actually have access to. Just within those dedicated environments. You guys get what I'm saying. And I'm not saying you have to use 4 VLANs. Many companies use way more than that. But the pure idea here is we need to be able to tag the traffic and be able to make sure that we're keeping up with it. We know what is being done. We know what's being accessed. We know that we can audit that and verify that, because this thing's growing like wildfire. It's just weeds just growing up, right? And if we don't protect the companies, we're going to start seeing a lot of downtime. We're going to see a lot of exploits happening. We're going to see, maybe Gen AI start to have a mind of its own where it's doing things maliciously. And we've even seen that with things like OpenClaw. I know that OpenClaw has this use case, definitely has security concerns, and I'll be making some videos on that in the future. But people are using it. It's not stopping, it's not scaring them enough to avoid it. They're still adopting it. And so now we as the security practitioners really do have to evolve and make sure that we're covering the bases and allowing the organization to do what they need to do, but securely. Right. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. It's just to really bring awareness to this whole thing, because it's very cool. It's very timely. And I think we absolutely need to understand it as we continue to do our best to protect the company. And, we are evolving as security practitioners with this new AI era that's coming into play. So anyways, I hope you guys found this very helpful. I look forward to making another video, sharing some more resources with you. I want to make sure to let you know that both of these things I shared with you in this video are going to be down in the description below. Be sure to find those down there, click them, explore it, study it, grab your favorite drink and really just dig into it, right? Make sure that you have a good understanding, take some notes on these different things. I certainly will be. But at the same time, I also want to hear what your thoughts are. So if you have thoughts on AI adoption, if you have thoughts on what I presented to you today or what you found on your own time, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm always reading them and I want to make sure I respond to them. And if you guys have any questions or any ideas on videos that you would like me to make, I'm all ears. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys.